I'm Elkan Abrahamson. I'm a director with Brodie Jackson Cantor, who is a firm of solicitors based in the Northwest. I've been dealing with major inquests and inquiries for decades now, actively campaigning for over 20 years to get the Hillsborough inquests reopened, also advising on Grenfell, Birmingham pub bombing inquest, and currently the Manchester Arena inquiry. So with regards to Covid-19, if we look at what's been happening over the past months, the first reaction of the government was a reluctance to face up to the truth. And that's always a warning sign for me. The second reaction, once they start dealing with the matter, is a reluctance to share the truth with the public. So just for an example, membership of the SAGE Committee. They wouldn't share the membership of the SAGE Committee. No good reason ever given, enough pressures put on the government, and then we're given all the names bar two. Why didn't that happen from the beginning? Second example is the way they are using statistics and presentation at their daily conferences in a way that does not fully show the truth to the public. Then we look at the legal side of things, and we see that gradually, and over the last few months, first of all, the Coronavirus Act abolished juries for inquests relating to COVID-19 deaths. Then the chief coroner is advising coroners that they shouldn't be looking into issues of public policy. So if they do have an inquest, they shouldn't look at the failure, for instance, to provide PPE. He also reminds them that a COVID-19 death could well be a death from natural causes, so an inquest doesn't even have to be held in the first place. Now, all that's okay as long as there is another forum set up to look into what has happened and to look into what went wrong. But we've no commitment at all yet from the government to hold a public inquiry. The government has got a very difficult task, and no one will deny that, and they're having to make literally life and death decisions. And one of those decisions is balancing the needs of the economy against the lives of our citizens. But the government won't say that. They won't come out and say, look, this is really difficult. We're going to have to make some difficult choices. They'll go that far, but what they won't say is, and some of those choices may involve more people dying than if we'd made another decision, because governments as such just cannot bring themselves to be that honest with their public. Well, I started off thinking what we need is a government commitment to hold an inquiry when all this is settled down. We have to allow them the latitude to carry on managing the country at this time, but at some point there should be an investigation into what steps they took, what decisions they made, and whether those decisions were correct. But what worries me now, and increasingly, is that they are continuing to take steps without properly involving the public. And actually there's a fear that they're losing the public as a result. So they need to share the information they have with the public. And it seems that the only way to make them do that is to start the inquiry process now. Now, I'm not suggesting that we have lots of public hearings with the judge and witnesses be brought along. What I am suggesting is that the formalities of the inquiry process begin, and the chair of that inquiry can start calling for information and can start saying to government departments, look, there is now an inquiry. You've got to bear in mind that you will be accountable. We don't want documents to go missing. We want proper recollections of any decision meetings and advice meetings that are taking place. And we will be looking at that in due course. Ideally, that information and documentation should be shared with the public in real time, so that the public are reassured that the government is making the right decisions based on the right information. Yes, there's a blog on our website, and we'll be publishing also on the website guidance to bereaved families as to the process they should be following, because again, there is a worrying tendency to discourage families from seeking inquests, which I think we need to counter.